Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kieran Sage, use she, they, any pronouns as long as you're cool about it, and this is my December reading wrap-up, in which I read 3 books in December of 2025. It's 2026, baby. So I really enjoyed every single book that I read this month, so I'm really excited to talk about them. And also to discuss a little bit about what my TBR is going to look like in the new year, because I'm going to try something different. At least I know for certain my January TBR looks a little different than usual. My priorities look a little bit different than usual, so. The first book that I read in December was Persuasion by Jane Austen. Persuasion is about Anne Elliot, who is the black sheep of her family. The main focus of her story is kind of on the regret that she feels about turning down a proposal because it didn't seem like the right time, despite the fact that she really loved the man that proposed to her, and kind of the fallout when that man comes back into her life. He is now well established in his career, he's now got money, and he is a prime candidate, and he is looking for a wife now. However, he is not looking for Anne Elliot. In a very classic Austen kind of way, this is a lot of people going to each other's houses and talking, which was fun. I always find that kind of charming. It's very slice of life, which is very sweet. I really like it, even if some of the characters are insufferable. Anne, I think, is a really good example of a character who regrets her past decisions, but also kind of knows how to move on from them, considers other options, things like that. It's a traditional Austen romance, not a traditional modern romance. It is full of longing and pining and all of those beautiful layers of social propriety. This is the book that, while I enjoyed it, I did realize, like, maybe Austen isn't really for me. I tend to find the characters really interesting and the story really interesting, but the way that she writes doesn't really connect with me. So I ended up giving this 4.25 stars, mainly because it was just kind of a realization of, oh, I think I get why I don't tend to like Austen as much as I would want to. And despite the fact that it seems very on brand, her writing style just doesn't work for me, and that's okay. The second book that I read was Paladin's Faith by T. Kingfisher, which is the 4th book in the Saint of Steel series. Paladin's Faith is, of course, a romantasy. It follows Shane, a paladin of the Saint of Steel, and Marguerite Florian, who is a spy who is also being hunted by a former employer. Marguerite is attempting to deal with that whole situation and enlists the White Rat's help, and thus the Paladins of the Saint of Steel. Shane is, of course, the main one, although there is another one whose name is escaping me at the moment. It's one of the women. It's not Judith, it's the other. Ren. I love Ren. I just couldn't remember the name. This is, I believe, either the longest or one of the longest, like very close to being the longest in the series. It is full of political intrigue and pining and drama and fight scenes and sexual tension. It's great. It's quite frankly so good. It kept me on the edge of my seat the literal entire time, and I blasted through this in like 2 days. The relationship between Marguerite and Shane is also so good. It's fantastic. It is what I have come to expect from T. Kingfisher, honestly. Like, it's good. So good. Everything about it is so good. I was less hopeful about this one because I had my problems with Paladin's Hope, I think is which one it is. Yeah, Paladin's Hope, because I had a lot of feelings about how I wanted more from the Galen and Piper story, and I didn't get it. This one is really good, and this also marks me being fully caught up in the series. I just am waiting for the next one to come out, which is so great. I don't feel awful about it at all. I really can handle the fact that it's not out yet, and that's the truth. I ended up giving this one 5 stars. The third and final book that I read in December was Mixed Signal by B.K. Borison, which loved. I love B.K. Borison. We've talked about it before. B.K. Borison is one of my favorite contemporary authors, especially in the romance genre. This one in particular is the 3rd book in the Love Light Farm series, and it follows Caleb Alvarez, who is, unfortunately, formerly a police officer in this little small town, but he's now a Spanish teacher, which makes him infinitely more love interest material. And the heroine of this one is Layla Dupree, the baker at Love Light Farms, and it just follows them falling in love with each other, especially because it's been established in past ones that Caleb has had a thing for Layla. They're both trying to kind of figure out what's wrong with them, what's wrong with their style of dating that doesn't really work for them, so they kind of do a test month of dating. It's not necessarily fake dating, but it kind of is. It's temporary fake dating. They hop into this experiment with each other, and it causes some problems because they don't communicate quite as well as they should about their expectations and the fact that they're kind of falling for each other while they're supposed to be experimentally dating. And this book is just full of so many good sex scenes. The tension is really good. The romance between Caleb and Layla is fantastic. There's not a lot of miscommunication, there's just a lack of communication that keeps you on the edge of your seat. And this is another instance of, I typically don't like the trope of lack of communication. Like, that's not one of my favorite kind of conflicts, but Borison writes it very well, so I kind of gotta give her props for that. I need to stop being genuinely surprised that every time I pick up a Borison book and it has a trope in it that I don't tend to like, that I end up liking it because Borison wrote it. And I think in particular, I didn't love the third act conflict in this. Like, it was still really good, but I think the third act conflict really did not work for me, even though it did feel a little bit like a natural progression because Borison knows her characters and writes them very well. That's why we're sitting at a 4.5 stars for this one. And that is the books that I read in December. It's kind of all romance now that I'm thinking of it. I've been enjoying my romance books, it appears. I did continue with the TBR that I've been playing around with for the past year, which has been kind of working for me, but I'm working on prioritizing things. So I did fill in the 3 slots that were empty after December. So for my fantasy, I decided to put in Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon, which is like a 0.2 or something like that in the series. It's before Priory, after Day of Fallen Night, I think is how it sits. For my series TBR, I put Business Casual by B.K. Borison, which is the 4th and final book in the Lovelight series. And for my classics, I put Beloved by Toni Morrison. So those are everything that gets added to my TBR. I do think in the new year, I'm going to focus a little bit more on finishing up my series. There's a lot that I just did not touch last year, which isn't great. I think I should definitely prioritize my series and getting them finished, especially because I am in the middle of like several manga series right now that I haven't touched in over a year. That is my goal for the new year. But yeah, those are the 3 books I read in December. I plan to do like a full year wrap up soon. Probably by the end of January is my goal, but this will be coming up first. And that's me, and Turby, who's sitting in front of me, and Abby, who is over here snoring. I hope you enjoyed listening to me yap for a little bit. Not a very long one, this one, but my January one should be a little bit longer. I already have a good feeling about that one. I've been doing quite a bit of reading this January, and it's only a week into it. I will see you guys next time.